Hello, everyone. My name is James Choi from Sabia Academy. Today, I would like to tell you two branches of mathematics and some numbers associated with it so that you can have some perspective on your school mathematics. First of all, math can be divided into two great big categories. One is called continuous math. This is what you studied in school most of the time. Algebra, geometry, and algebra 2, those are all continuous math. Basically, these deal with the real numbers. However, there were two times that you studied discrete math. One was when you studied the number theory in pre-algebra. Divisibility by 3, is it an even, odd number? Those things are discrete math. It belongs here. And also you had a taste of discrete math when you studied the sequence and series and combinatorics, probability. Those are also discrete math. But by and large, the school math is continuous math. So you just don't know what continuous math is because you've been in it. It's just like asking fish what water is. On discrete math, if you studied for math competitions, then you are very familiar with this set theory and counting and probability, number theory, and such. So, because the math competitions ask a lot about discrete math, and this is the part that is not taught at school. Math competition classes tend to emphasize these discrete math side of it, what is lacking, and that's why you study this, and you even get the impression that math competition is all about discrete math. It's not. It has both, but it asks up to here only. It doesn't ask you anything about calculus for any of these tests that you see. Okay, now I'd like to show you some numbers so that you can get the perspective of what you're dealing with here. First of all, probably those who are listening to this are aiming to enter top 10 universities. Top 10 universities accept altogether combined 15,000 students. Let me show you where I got that number. So let's go to MIT site. Then you will see, by the way, every site I show you, you can see it by entering this address. You will see that they accepted 1,600 students last time, and Harvard accepted 1,600, and Stanford 1,700. What about Princeton? Accepted 1,000, enrolled actually, it was 1,300. So now you see, it's roughly 1,500 in each school. And if you're aiming to enter top 10, you multiply by 10, you end up getting this number I showed you. 15,000, right? Okay, so let's see. Well, what would it take to enter this, become top 15,000 students in the nation here? So I'd like to show you some numbers of what we are dealing with here. How many high schools are there and how many high school students are there? So for that, I went to this government site here, and I saw that there are this many, about 26,000 public high schools and 10,000 private high schools. Of those, the public ones have 13 million students. They didn't say how many private schools how many students private schools have. So I kind of took a wild guess at it, and I came up with this kind of number, about 18 million. So let's round down a little bit, because this is all guess. 60 million. Of those, senior year is 1/4 of them, so 4 million. So each year, 4 million students are graduating from high school. Not everybody wants to go to college, and not everybody's aiming for the top 10. So let's see. How many took the Calculus BC? 94,000. So even, where did I get the numbers? I got to show you that too, right? So here's the statistics. Let me show you the statistics. So here's, if you go to this site here, you will see this AP statistics here. And if you scroll down, you see all these numbers here. So what I'm going to show you is this one, and then this one, okay? So I will show you the top one first here. So if you open the site, then you get this number here. The yellow highlight is mine. The site didn't have it. I put it on so that you can see here. Okay, so how many students took the Calculus BC? Altogether, 94,000. Okay, what about AB? Oh, 250,000 people took Calculus AB. So if you take the Calculus BC and think you're pretty hot shot, you should realize 6 times more than the opening took the Calculus BC. But taking the test doesn't mean that you're doing well. So want to know how well they do? So let's get the statistics there. So if I go to the second one that I was showing you, Calculus BC, about half of them get a score of 5. That's the highest score. So, yeah, so there are how many? 6 times more than the opening took the calculus. So only 3 times more got a perfect score on Calculus BC. So now you see, doing Calculus BC in your high school does not make you competitive. Whatever you do, the number has to be fewer than 1,500 to be inside here, right? Now, another thing I'd like to show is if you compare that, the numbers to the math competitions here, I don't know how many are studying for these subjects here. This is my wild guess here. But we know how many took the AME test. So I'd like to show you where I got that. If you go to this site here, you will see this AME statistics shown here. So if you see the statistics for 2011, 2,700 people took the test, or good enough to take the test. And 1 year before that, 6,000 people were good enough to take the test. And 1 year before that was 10,000. I don't know why the number is going down, but I generously put 6,000 here. Now you see, this is well within this number. So that's why AME means something. It's rare enough that people would want to see that score and get it. If you make it to USMO, it's only 500. So now you see the competitive edge that you get, that you don't get with this math courses. Does it mean that you should not take this? No, it means that, this is everybody's doing it. You need to do it too. You cannot lack this. But you got to do this and more. You got to go up here. So now let's take a look at this multivariable calculus. I don't know how many are taking, but there are so few schools that can teach here. And also, most students barely finish this in their senior year. They may be smart and they may be ready to take this course here, but they graduate from high school, so they don't get to take this here. So for you to take this course here, you have to take this geometry in your 8th grade, or Algebra 2 in your 8th grade. You got to start pretty early to have room enough on the top to get to this high here. So if you're very good in mathematics, there's no point in delaying your studies because there's more than what is being offered. You can do this in an online University of Illinois course to get credit for this. So now you see the competitive edge that you get. See, whatever number you got here has to be less than this, right? And after multivariable calculus, this one is a wild guess actually. I don't know, but it will be far fewer because very few can teach this in high school. So differential equation. This is the end of the continuous math here. This calculus and multivariable calculus. And Newton invented all this to reach here so that he can solve this equation to know the orbits of the planets. So it's good to know that there's an end. After this, there's no more actually in this branch of mathematics. And you can reach this. So top high schools such as TJ or Exeter or Andover, those schools have this course. But most schools do not. Talking about having the courses and not having the courses, I'd like to show you on the sites that I just showed you that there are about 37,000 high schools in the US. Of them, only 6,000 has AP Calculus BC. Where did I get that number? I got that number from here. Here's the 6,000 schools that have this Calculus BC. And what about physics? Only 3,000 schools. Take a look. Out of all this, so 1 in 12 offers this course. See, the opportunity is not it doesn't come to everybody in the U.S. Even if you study in the United States, you have 1 in 12 chance that you will have a school that teaches this level of physics. And now let's see how many took that. Only 2,000 did. No, sorry, it's 2,000 schools. I'm sorry, 17,000 took that test. I don't know what the score was. So shall we take a look? Physics E&M, only 1 in 3 got perfect score. So here, how many 3,000 schools? I got to go back and look at the number again. Let's take a look. So Physics C was taken by, so let's make it 18. So about 6,000 made it, right? Got a perfect score on it. So if you see here, that's comfortably smaller than this number. So that's it's comforting to know that you made it in here. So, whatever you plan and whatever you do, you got to be aware of these numbers you're dealing with here. So, this number should be firmly imprinted in your head. And whatever you do, you have to elevate yourself to go beyond this masses and go into this rare error that would be less than this number. I hope this talk was useful to you. If you want to see more of what I write, please visit this webpage, column.sabiaacademy.com. Thank you.